The 9 to 5 is changing you as a person and not for the better. Fake enthusiasm, alter egos, loss of identity, pretending to be someone you're not just so you fit in to the 9 to 5 and you don't get highlighted as the odd one out. This is so common, but yet so dangerous. So why am I talking about it? Well, I want to help you to identify if this is happening to you and to stop it immediately before you have future problems, home life issues, and potentially embarrassment and regret later in life. Now, why does this happen? Why are there people in the 9 to 5 who laugh at things that aren't funny? Fake enthusiasm, the alter egos. Why are they created? Well, it all stems from a lack of financial security or being financially independent. So I saw this a lot in my last job, where people would be in a workplace huddle or a meeting of some sort. Something was said by a manager and everyone would laugh. I'd be looking around thinking, it wasn't even funny. No one is authentic. The only people that are authentic in the 9 to 5 are those that have a backbone and those who have got their money right. So my advice to all of you watching, if you are finding yourself pretending to be someone just so you fit in, you clearly aren't in a good financial situation because you wouldn't feel the need to try and survive and not stand out. So that's the core problem. And I find it concerning how many people around the world suffer with this, which leads to mental health issues, anxiety, depression, burnout in the workplace. And it simply stems from not having your money right. So my advice to all of you, get some FU money in the bank, because then you can start being the true, authentic version of yourself. Now, I find yes people, people pleasers, a yes man or a yes woman in the workplace, I'll do it boss, how high boss, 3 bags full boss, they're very untrustworthy. And the problem with being or going through loss of identity or being an alter ego for 8 hours every day in the workplace, so you're someone else when you leave, but in the workplace you change. You're like a chameleon. You literally change as a person and you mold to each individual characters that are in the workplace. The problem that this can have is that this can rub off in your home life because you're living as your alter ego more than you are at home, because most of you will spend more time in the workplace than you do at home. So imagine that you're pretending to be someone. It's going to have effects with your partner, with your children. Here's the other thing. A lot of people in the world that we live in, which is incredibly busy, people feel pressures from the 9 to 5, people are struggling with bills. What happens as well is people are now starting to feel lost. They don't know who they are. They're like, I'm 35, I'm 38, I'm 40, I'm 45, I'm 50, and I don't know who I am anymore. And it's because you've allowed yourself to become someone you didn't really know, but you were doing what you thought was right to survive. And again, I really want to emphasize this word survive. Most of you are living in survival mode, which again, we could go really deep with this, wage slavery. Being a slave to the salary makes you a person who's constantly in survival mode. And this is why it's so dangerous. This is why I endorse and I encourage you to learn how to cash flow, learn about business, educate yourself, read a book, go to a networking event and start creating financial independency, because then you can remain authentic and then you can protect your peace. Like me, for example, right? I just sort of talk you through this. Even in my 9 to 5, I could never pretend to be someone. Let me have a quick sip of my coffee. I couldn't pretend to be someone because that isn't me. It doesn't sit well with me to laugh at things that I don't find funny. I also was aware that I was working a job and I was surrounded by people that I wouldn't normally choose to be with, but it didn't mean that I had to become best friends with them. I had to tolerate them and be polite and get on with them, which I did, but it doesn't mean I have to be best friends with them. And if someone's a manager or a senior leader, if they say something and everyone else laughs, it doesn't mean I have to laugh. I had to remain authentic to myself. But here's the catch-22, and I'm sure all of you know this. They don't like that. That's the problem. So what's the answer, Aaron? Well, I don't really have an answer other than get your money right, build a business, your side business, make your own money, because the 9 to 5 will never like it. If you have a backbone, you speak up for what's right, you go against the grain, you don't have to agree with everything, you think outside the box, you challenge questions that you're asked, or you challenge things in general. If you are that person, they don't like it. There's no easy way out. You either conform and you pretend to be someone and have problems later down the road. Because just actually think about it for a moment. Pretending to be someone for 8 hours a day. And I always think of it like this. Imagine if your wife or husband was watching you at work, or your children. Would they be proud or embarrassed of the person that they saw in the workplace? Would they be like, Daddy's not like that at home? If you were being really submissive and laughing at something that wasn't funny, oh, that was so good, yeah, that was really funny, although it really wasn't, but everyone else is laughing, so I better laugh along with it, because otherwise they're going to think I'm the odd one out. You don't have to laugh if you don't find it funny. You know, there is that terminology, a friend of mine showed me it, it's quite hard to say, pleasanteeism. And what it means is people have become so burned out in the workplace, they're so tired, they're so frustrated, they're so anxious, they're so depressed, they've fallen into just pleasing people and just coming across like they really enjoy their job. Hey, how you getting on? You enjoying the job? Yeah, it's really good. But they hate it. You know, I feel as a society, there is this push and pull effect of people who don't want to talk about escaping the 9 to 5 because it highlights an insecurity they probably can't do it, which means they've got to remain in a job that they don't particularly like for the next 45 years. And then there's people like me who are trying to encourage people to take control of their life. Always choose the latter, like take control of your life, because you're going to avoid all these problems. You know, just from my side, I have never had a panic attack, I've never had anxiety, I've never had depression. I don't know what any of that is. I've never experienced any of it. And the reason I haven't experienced it, and I'll be honest with you, I've always done what I've wanted to do. In a 9 to 5, outside of a 9 to 5, I have been, and you know, I was brought up this way, live your true authentic self. Do what you want to do. And also to realise no one else matters other than you and your family. So do things for you and your family, no one else. But the most important part of this is that you take control of your life. If you're not happy in a job and you realise you're pretending to be someone just so that you fit in, so when you walk in the office, you're pretending to be bubbly, you're pretending to get on with people, you're seeing a co-worker there who you can't stand, or there's the manager that always bullies you, but you're smiling and you're waving and you're going along with it, you are going to suffer eventually with so many mental health problems you have no idea. And your future self will kick you up the bum and say, why did you not take control? Go get another job, start your own little business, try something new. Why did you not do something about it? Regret bites hard. One of my favourite sayings is by a guy called Tim Grover, and it's, if you think the price of winning is too high, wait till you get the bill from regret. And that sits with me, the thought of getting to a point in my life, looking back and thinking, I can't do anything now, I can never go back, I'm pretty much done for. I had the chance. That eats me, like that scares the living daylights out of me, which is why I always do things for me. And when I think back to my last job, and I won't mention names, there were people pleasers, brown nosers, backstabbers, super untrustworthy people, because no one was being themselves. You know, the worst person to be around, and you have to avoid them like the plague, is the person who gets on with everyone. And there are so many people who are blinded by that one person, and they go, oh, isn't he or she so lovely? Oh, they get on with everyone. Oh, they're so nice. And I'm like, yeah, I'd be pretty damn careful about that individual, because they're nice to everyone. No one's nice to everyone. I can come across right miserable to some people. You know, I'm very Marmite. You either like me or you don't. You'll see that in the YouTube comments. People either love my content or they think, who's this muppet? You know, who's this guy with the tattoo on his neck? Literally, I get the divide, but I like that. Because then you know where we all know where we stand. There's no, can't work him out. Be very careful of the person who is friends with everyone. So look, fake enthusiasm, don't be a part of it. If you're in a workplace meeting and everyone's laughing and joking and you just don't find things funny, identify that and be okay with it. And walk out of that meeting knowing that you were the authentic one. You held your own. You don't have to do things that you don't like. And then just finally, and if you are resonating with this, I'd love to know if you've experienced things where these matters have popped up, because oh my God, I've got so many stories I could tell you. I've been in the office where, and I won't say his name, I kid you not, there was one guy where if any of the senior leaders said anything, he would laugh, he would talk about it, he would repeat what they said, he would then be, you know, do you need anything after? It would be like the whole laughing, the repeating of what they said. I don't even think they were looking at him thinking, all right, you're overdoing it now. And then it would be, is there anything I can do? Anyone want a coffee? Coffee, guys? Tea? Everyone? Great. Okay, cool. Everyone have a great day. See you soon. And I'm like, where have you got the energy to be this fake? He must get home and just go, oh. Honestly, I swear. And they're going to be tired people, because pretending to be someone will make you tired. It's like, final tip from me. If you were going to go into content creation, just be you. You know, don't try and put on an act, because that's going to be tiring. There's no longevity in pretending to be someone. Just be you through and through. And if people don't like you, fine. Because you're not going to please everyone. There's 8 billion people in the world. It's very rare you please most of the people that come across you. And that's fine. Just get comfortable with it. But look, I do understand you don't want to stand out like a sore thumb, which is fine. So you've got two options. Get your money right, be proud, head up, have a backbone, boost your self-esteem, get confidence, get into the gym, feel like you're the strongest and biggest one in the workplace. That always helps. Or leave and go get another job. The choices are up to you. But whatever you do, don't be an alter ego. Don't be an untrustworthy person. Don't take all these problems and this fake individual that you're pretending to be, this character you've created, don't take it home and dump it on your family, and try to avoid loss of identity, because midlife crisis will kick in as well, and then all the mental health problems follow with it. If you did like this video, please do like and subscribe. If you are trying to get out of the 9 to 5, both of my tutorials will pop up at the end. If you watch both of those tutorials, I promise you this, you will get out of a job and you will run a business that was designed by you, living a life on your terms. As I always say, you can make a plan, or guess what? Society has a plan for you. So until next time, my good people, I'll see you all soon.